Hello, today I'll be talking about anhidrotic ectodermal dysplasia. This project was done for my human genetics class in Bentley University in the fall of 2017. Ectodermal dysplasia is a genetic disorder that is characterized by the development of abnormal ectodermal tissues such as the skin, hair, teeth, nails, and nose. This genetic disorder affects both the external and internal parts of the body. In internal, it affects the sweat glands either completely or causes them to be partially non-functioning. This makes the body unable to regulate its temperature. It also causes eczema in skin tissue and immune system complications. In terms of phenotype and biological pathways of the disorder, mutations happen in the EDA, EDAR, and EDARADD. These genes provide instruction for the manufacture of proteins that work together during embryonic development, and this results in the disease. Numerous mutations include point and missense mutations that have been implicated in the development of the disease. Proteins are important for signaling pathways that create the platform of interaction between the ectoderm and mesoderm layers of the cell. The mutations prevent the normal interactions of the cell layers, impairing the development of the mentioned tissues and structures, leading to characteristic features of the disease. Here you can see some information about where the gene is located, its phenotype, mode of inheritance. In terms of mode of inheritance, the disease is a single gene disorder. Most cases link anhidrotic ectodermal dysplasia to an X-linked recessive pattern. One mutated copy of the gene is enough to cause the condition. Although for females, a mutation must take place in both of these genes to cause the disorder. As such, males are more frequently affected by the disorder than females. Men cannot pass the X-linked trait to their sons. Females with one altered copy of the gene are carriers of the disorders, and the symptoms may or may not manifest in the individual. Continuing the modes of inheritance. Less common variations of the disease are caused by mutations in the EDAR or EDARADD, as mentioned previously. The inheritance pattern of the EDAR mutation is autosomal dominant, which means that only one copy of the altered gene in each cell is enough to cause the inheritance of the disorder. However, the inheritance pattern on the EDARADD mutations is autosomal recessive, which means two copies of the altered gene are required to cause the disorder in an inherited person. Diagnosis. The diagnosis only takes place, it's first noticed, I should say, after delayed teething in infants is noticed, or absence of or low functioning sweat glands, which is even harder to notice in infants because they are not expected to sweat. Confirmed by genetic tests after those discoveries are made. After diagnosis, genetic counseling is used to differentiate the forms of ectodermal dysplasia. There are many forms of ectodermal dysplasia and may vary from person to person how the dysplasia is manifesting. Some patients have more symptoms than others and show different symptoms, but keep inside a wide array of issues affecting the ectoderm. Treatment. So as of now, there are no known treatments for the genetic disorder, although there are medical care regimens that can be used to reduce and tolerate its symptoms. Patients can have air conditioning, wear cool clothing, and consume liquids that aid in the maintenance of adequate hydration and body temperature regulation, as the impaired sweat glands reduces the body's ability to regulate its own temperature, especially when overheating. Other patients with dental defects can seek dental evaluations and interventions to improve their dental hygiene, and can use dental implants and other such things to correct these issues. Tests on the drug have indicated that it corrects symptoms and therefore a great promise to patients with the condition. Edimer Pharmaceuticals is working on a treatment. The, the most important part of Edimer's treatment is that it is the first drug that will be able to treat or reduce the effects of multiple symptoms, as opposed to having one drug or treatment target each symptom that a patient may have. Now, this is relevant because it is crucial to the pharmaceutical industry and on a societal level as well. In terms of industry, pharmaceutical companies have seen promise, although limited, in a treatment that solves multiple syndromes associated with ectodermal dysplasia when given to newborns. This, shown in the example I use about Edimer Pharmaceuticals, shows potential for a new kind of treatment that targets more than one symptom. The societal impact on that is that patients can finally receive a treatment that targets more than one symptom instead of going through multiple treatments and drugs each directed at a single symptom. This will not only make their life easier, but cure more of what ails and bothers patients with less effort, making it more efficient.